Hi, so we're going to look at OmniTec-67A vintage preamp. You know, when I first saw this, I thought it was a compressor. It's actually a preamp. And it's a pretty neat tool. Now, I have this session here. Well, it's just a one track, and it's just a loop that I got from the Avid library. And let's talk about all the options that we have here. So we're going to start from left to right. So we have phase, level, input. On the top, we have bass, mid, treble. Then we have this cool meter. Then at the bottom, we have tube type, bias, and mix. And over here, we have some other settings as well. So now that we're kind of familiar with all the options here, let's experiment. So let's play it again with the plugin on bypass. Taking the plugin out of bypass. There's hardly no difference when I take it in and out of bypass. Now, one thing that's incredibly important is your gain stage. You want to make sure you're hitting the plugin at a sweet spot. If your signal's too loud, I'm not saying it won't work. It definitely will. You might come up with some cool things, and it's important to hit these plugins at the level that is recommended. Without. Big difference in volume. So we can adjust that. We have an input and an output. As you can see, I'm pushing this plugin pretty hard. Normally in a session, you wouldn't do this. Or you might. It all depends on what you have. Something might be extremely dark, and you might need to push it. Now remember, I do this because I want you guys to hear what the plugin does. There's no point in being subtle. I always say that in these videos. So the plugin is back on its factory default settings. And now we're going to take a look at the tube type, the bias. So I just showed you the difference between A, B, and C. They actually all sound great. Let's put it back to A. Now we're going to go to bias, and it's currently on high. Let's change that to low. And let's give it some output. That's on the high setting, so I'm going to be switching between both of them. There's a big level change when I switch between low and high. So you're probably noticing, as I'm cranking that output, things are starting to get interesting. Some distortion is happening, so we're really working this plugin. So what I'm doing is messing with the input and the output. I'm trying to get some color out of this plugin. Now let's switch the bias to high. Now there's going to be a level difference here. Let's bypass the plugin. And we have mix, and you guys should know what mix does. It's going to allow you to mix your dry and wet signal together. And what I want to do is bring back some of that distortion. And we also have some pretty neat presets. So if you want a good starting point, try any of those. Mess with them, modify them, and save your own settings. And another thing, Control Windows Alt, you have the automation option. So you can automate this plugin. That is important, really crucial. Lately, I've been doing that a lot, automating my plugins during my mixes. Sometimes it works, sometimes I just completely destroy my mix, but that's how you learn. Then if we go over here, we have some other options here. I have knob mode, sensitivity, GUI. Now let's talk about the knob mode, because this is really interesting. Currently, it's set to host settings. Now by default, in the PT world, if you wanted to reset an option back to its default settings, I believe you hold down Alt. And yeah, it doesn't work here. So you would have to hold down Control and click, and it resets the plugin or the setting back to its original default position. So keep that in mind. In order to change any of these options, hold the mouse, left click, and go upwards, downwards, right? Now we're going to change to circular. And it's no longer going up or down, which is weird. So now, kind of going in a circle, which is pretty cool. Now I'm not going to go through the rest, but you get the point. Then we have the knob sensitivity. Now the knob sensitivity only works in linear mode. So we have to keep that in mind. So currently it's set to low. And let's change that. Then let's go to normal. And of course, in the Pro Tools world, if you hold down Shift, you can really get some fine adjustments. And the last option is to resize the GUI. I won't go into that. You guys can mess around with that one on your own. Then over here, we have the activation window. And the third option is to select your license destination. So I usually have this flash drive that I have a lot of licenses. It kind of acts like an iLock. So I just authorize that USB flash drive. And when I want to move to a different computer, I don't have to activate that computer. I just plug in the flash drive and the program is activated because it finds the authorization on the flash drive. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm using Windows 11. This plugin is fully compatible, hasn't given me any problems. Just wanted to put that out there. So here's what I want you to do. Check the description. There's going to be some information regarding this plugin. Press the thumbs up button. It'll definitely help out the video. Also, first time watching, subscribe to the channel. Press the bell for future notifications. I want to thank you for watching this video. This is Ray, and I'm out of here. Later, guys.